The spires of the Cathedral Basilica of the Immaculate Conception reach towards the Colorado sky, standing as a testament to faith, community, and the remarkable individuals who helped shape Denver, Colorado. Amongst them was a woman whose name would be synonymous with determination and survival, Margaret Brown, better known as the Unsinkable Molly Brown of the Titanic disaster. Born Margaret Tobin in 1867 to Irish immigrant parents in Hannibal, Missouri, she would later become known to the world as the Unsinkable Molly Brown after surviving the Titanic disaster. Long before that fateful night in 1912, Molly Brown was making her mark on Colorado's religious and social landscape. Our story begins in Leadville, Colorado. In 1886, at just 19 years old, Margaret arrives in this booming mining town, seeking adventure and opportunity. There she met and married James Joseph Brown, a mining engineer. Though raised Catholic, Margaret embraced the diverse religious community of Leadville, where miners from all over the world gathered to seek their fortune. Leadville, in the 1880s, was home to various denominations, Catholic, Protestant, Methodist, and others, serving the spiritual needs of miners from Ireland, Cornwall, and across Europe. The young Margaret Brown attended Annunciation Church in Leadville, where she began developing her lifelong commitment to social justice rooted in faith. J.J. Brown's mining expertise led to a successful gold discovery in the Little Johnny mine. The Browns suddenly found themselves immensely wealthy. This newfound fortune didn't change Margaret's dedication to her faith, but it did expand her ability to support religious and charitable causes. The Browns soon moved to Denver in 1894, purchasing a Victorian mansion on Pennsylvania Street. Now situated in the capital city, Molly Brown became increasingly involved with Denver's religious institutions, particularly the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception. So we're on our way to the Molly Brown house. We're walking through the neighborhood. This neighborhood's quite the place. There's old mansions all around us, but they also knocked down a lot of the mansions and built apartment buildings. Or they took the mansions and they divided them up into like brownstone type places where there's many apartments. But it's a very interesting area. We're in what's called Capitol Hill. If you look behind us, you'll see the Capitol right above my head, right there. So Molly lived right behind the Capitol, and that's why it's called Capitol Hill. So let's go take a look. Let's explore the history of this magnificent cathedral that played such an important role in Molly's life. The Cathedral Basilica of the Immaculate Conception began as a vision of Denver's first bishop. Construction began in 1902, but funding such an ambitious project proved challenging. Designed in the French Gothic style, the cathedral features twin 210-foot spires, stunning stained glass from the Royal Bavarian Art Institute in Munich, and a spectacular marble altar. Construction continued for over a decade, requiring substantial financial support from Denver's Catholic community. This is where Molly's influence became critical. As one of Denver's wealthiest and most socially connected women, she helped organize fundraising events for the cathedral's construction. Records show she donated substantially herself and encouraged others in her social circles to contribute to completing what would become Denver's most iconic church. Finally, in October 1912, the cathedral was dedicated, just months after Molly Brown had survived the Titanic disaster. Her international fame following the shipwreck only increased her influence and ability to support the cathedral and other religious institutions. The Brown family had become regular members of the church that they had so tirelessly helped to build, despite the personal turmoils that some believe irritated an already sensitive and turbulent marriage. They devoutly attended 11 a.m. Mass and continued to rent out pew number 6 until they left the Denver area in the later years. Margaret took the opportunity to show off how far she had come from her humble Hannibal roots by arriving fashionably late in her latest fashions with her shillelagh walking stick adorned with flowers and ribbons. She would strut down the main aisle of the great cathedral she had tirelessly helped to build, while every eye followed her as she entered her pew. Fun fact: with the structure virtually complete, a bolt of lightning struck the west tower on August 7, 1912, and knocked off the top 25 feet. The spire was repaired before the dedication, but then on June 23, 1997, the east spire of the cathedral was struck by lightning again. Repairs took 9 months to complete. The east tower and spire were rededicated on June 23, 1998. Beyond the Cathedral Basilica, Molly also supported Denver's Holy Ghost Church, particularly its outreach programs for immigrants. As the daughter of an Irish immigrant herself, she understood the importance of church in helping newcomers maintain cultural connections while integrating into American society. In her later years, as Molly became increasingly involved in politics and social activism, her religious foundation remained evident. When running for the U.S. Senate, yes, Molly Brown ran for the U.S. Senate in 1914. She framed many of her progressive positions into terms of moral imperatives informed by her faith. Today, the Cathedral Basilica of the Immaculate Conception stands as a National Historic Landmark. Its magnificent architecture and artistic treasures continue to inspire visitors, just as they did when Molly Brown walked through its doors over a century ago. But we can't talk about this cathedral and not talk about Julia Greeley and her tomb within the Cathedral Basilica. Julia Greeley is known as Denver's Angel of Charity, and the church is taking steps towards making her a saint. Like Molly Brown, she also is from Hannibal, Missouri, but Julia, once an enslaved woman who dedicated her life to helping others despite her poverty. Greeley's remains were exhumed from a nearby cemetery and transferred to the Cathedral Basilica, an honor rarely bestowed upon non-clergy. There, within this magnificent Gothic cathedral, her tomb has become a place of pilgrimage for those inspired by her extraordinary compassion and faith. As the Catholic Church continues the careful process of investigating her life and the miracles attributed to her, Colorado is anxiously awaiting the day when this humble servant might be officially canonized as America's first African-American saint. Formally recognized what many have long believed, that Julia Greeley's life of selfless love truly exemplifies holiness in our modern world. The cathedral continues Molly's legacy of social outreach through programs serving Denver's homeless population, immigrants, and those in need, work that would surely please its famous benefactor. At the Molly Brown House Museum on Pennsylvania Street, visitors can learn more about her religious convictions and philanthropy work. Museum archives contain letters referencing her church activities and financial contributions to religious causes throughout Colorado. The story of Molly Brown and Colorado's churches is ultimately about the integration of faith and action, from the mining booming town of Leadville to Denver's greatest cathedral. Molly Brown's religious journey paralleled Colorado's development from frontier territory to cultured state. Thank you for joining us as we explored Margaret Brown, Julia Greeley, and the Cathedral Basilica of the Immaculate Conception. We invite you to watch all our videos on the world's greatest sacred places.